We all go a little mad sometimes.
Get you.
You are destiny.
Here's Johnny.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Horror Hour. This is the place where we discuss, debate, and disagree on all things horror. I'm one of your hosts, Yutaka. Hello. And today, Ben and George are, out scoping another B&B. She said she'd be good, so I trust her. And then today, we're also actually joined by one of our council co-hosts, Destiny.
Hi, I'm happy to be here as a guest on the Horror Hour because I love watching you guys. I do. And I love horror movies, so I'm excited to talk about this.
I know you are a huge horror fan, so it's incredibly exciting.
Yeah.
So today I'm really excited. We are actually going to review Superhost, which actually premiered on Shudder. We to be honest, we lucked out, and we will actually have an interview with the writer-director, Brandon Christensen, and pretty much the entire cast. We have Sarah Canning, Gracie Phipps, and Osric Chow. It is so much fun. So I hope you guys watch that. And I'm going to be honest, there's some spoilers, but shit happens. So, all right. So to give you a little overview of the story, it's basically you've got two vloggers who essentially will go to these Airbnbs. They seems like they may either look for issues or try and just, are they that super host? And basically they go to this Airbnb where the host is kind of creepy. And so essentially it's just their couple night stay and the terror that ensues. So first impressions, Destiny, what did you think?
Well, first impressions, like first maybe 10 minutes of the movie, I was really not sure about it. I was not sure if I was going to like it. I just wasn't. I honestly don't even know what I really expected. But so it wasn't really until maybe after the first act where I was starting to get, interested in the movie, and also because I love the main actor. So that could also be a reason why I stayed. So I think it's kind of a slow burn movie, but I enjoyed it.
I would actually have to agree. I remember seeing the trailer. And the trailer, I will say, sold it way more than what I was expecting. I also agree. I stayed for the main actor as well. I, geeked out when I got to talk to him about Supernatural. And I will say, yes, after the first act, things start to really pick up. And then I think once they just start going, then it doesn't stop until it's just this insane ending. And I think one of the things that I really enjoyed was how the director kind of used three different styles, whether it be from the vlogging perspective, the handheld found footage, or just the normal camera work. So I kind of liked how Brandon kind of really brought you into all these different avenues, and it made you feel kind of like you were a part of it. And I guess maybe they did a good job with the main actor, because I really didn't like their characters. I mean,
no. Well, it was mostly Sarah's character, Claire, I think her name was in the movie.
Claire.
That I don't think you're supposed to even like her, because come on. I'm trying not to spoil anything, but she does something like 2/3 of the way in the movie. Is like, okay, well, I for real don't like you.
Oh man.
Any sympathy. I'm trying so hard to root for you, but you're making it so hard for me. But
I completely agree. I don't know if she really ever had good intentions. After the interview, I will say it sounds like, the relationship was real, but I think Teddy was definitely more invested in the relationship, whereas Claire was, we need to get those likes. We need to up those subscribers.
Yeah.
Let's do this. And then I will have to say, even though it's kind of a, pretty much a cameo, but I love Barbara Crampton. And I feel like she made a very memorable moment close to the third act. And it was basically when Rebecca or Becky kind of just goes, she snaps like this.
Yeah.
It is one of my favorite things to watch, to see how the actress just, and apparently she just really did that on a dime. There was no like prepping. She's like, I'm into this. Let's do this. And it probably became, obviously it was scary at a certain point, but it was also comical because again, with how she was playing that role, there's a scene where she kind of pops her head out and she's like, "Oh, hello, Teddy." And I lost it.
Yeah, she was great. Like you said, it is comical in some aspects, but not in a way that felt detrimental to the movie. I really enjoyed her performance. It was great. I loved it.
I will say, as much as I love Teddy, it's a character, I really loved hers the best because it was a full transformation in a sense. Because first she's kind of odd, she means well, and then it's like, oh, kind of getting a little creepy. And then when she's like, well, you know what? I'm just gonna have to, I'm gonna have to kill you guys, kind of thing. I loved it. I thought there was a shot that I rewatched it and I enjoyed where she was looking through the door and they were all standing back and you could just see just her eyes.
Yeah, framed her eyes.
Oh my God, I love that. With that one, I was like, oh, that's creepy. I will say one of the things that I do hate about going to rural areas is that fear of not having cell service. So,
right.
I felt that. I was just like, oh, okay. All right. Well, I will also say I loved that house. That was a real house. It wasn't a set. It was gorgeous. That great room was, I'm like, that's perfect. You guys had.
Yeah, it really was the best room to film in.
It was. Yeah, I've really enjoyed what they put into it. I would say now if we do talk cons, I think just my biggest gripe is obviously as soon as everything starts and it's really, even though I enjoyed it, I'm like, it was very predictable.
Yes, I was thinking that too. Like everything that was even revealed of what happened and Betty and Lou and the cat. Like,
oh my God.
Oh my God. Oh my God. And that reminded me, I don't know why I'm so horrible. I guess spoilers,
we're spoilers now, people.
Yeah, spoilers. But I laughed so hard because when she said Betty, Lou, and the cat too, I was thinking of like the Wicked Witch of the West. I started laughing so hard. I couldn't get over it. And it was so funny because it was I'm sorry about the cat, but it was such a great callback because I was wondering where's the cat, but I just thought like, oh, that's just a good feature to have, like if you want to bring a pet. So I didn't think that deeply about it until the end. Yeah.
I will tell you, that's really, it was the third act that just sold me on the entire journey just because of all those little things. And again, spoilers, people, I loved that. I mean, I felt bad, but when they died, and
yeah,
I wasn't mad about Claire. I was a little upset for Teddy because I'm like, damn it.
Yeah, I really was too, because I wasn't sure what kind of movie it was. Like, hey, is it no survivors, one survivor, conquer, like get weapons and we'll like, go you try to conquer Rebecca? Because it's like, she is just one woman. Like, come on, why did you go back to, okay, fine. Why'd you go back to the house? Like, I understood that you think that she may go back to the car, but the car is still a vehicle that you can escape with. Like, why trap yourself in the house?
I will say I was not expecting Claire's death the way it happened, because that was brutal. And I was just like, oh shit, okay. And then Teddy drops the poker. I'm like, well, damn it, it's not going to end well for you, sir.
Yeah, but I'm like, I know you're in shock and all that, but fight or flight, and I guess he just chose flight. I don't know, because they were making smarter decisions up until the third act. Like the fact that I love the moment where he saw the mail and saw that it said Betty and Lou, is like, hey, we have to go. We have to leave now. No questions asked, let's leave. But it was also so dumb for him to even ask Rebecca, oh, who's Betty and Lou? Who's that? Just let it remain a mystery.
Okay. That was actually another favorite part. There's a couple of favorite parts I had in this, but I loved when she's like, Rebecca then takes off her jacket, hangs it up. I'm like, oh shit, she means business. And I was like, poor Barbara, poor Vera, even though
I
Vera was
know.
kind of a bitch, but I was like, oh. And I could not stop laughing when she just kept like gutting her to sense.
And
I was
she
like,
looks so calm. Oh my God.
it was truly, I mean, Gracie really, she was so committed to that role and she did such a great job. And even chatting with her, you could tell she loved playing this character. And that's what I was just like, man, oh gosh, it was, a small crew. And I will admit, though, a movie that only has so few characters, you really got to either have the chemistry or you've got to keep your viewers invested. But I will say all of them had chemistry, even when she was creepy. And yes, they made bad decisions, because if I come downstairs and somebody's cooking me breakfast, I would lose it. This is not that type of, this is
Right?
an Airbnb. This is not a bed and breakfast where you're going to come in. No,
Exactly. No. See, there were so many
I was
things.
like, red flag right there.
Mhm.
So cons, probably the pacing, and then it was just predictable. But I will say, for me, I've still rewatched it several times, and I don't find that it gets old because I'm laughing too much now. Because I'm like rooting for Rebecca. I
Right.
just am. It's terrible, I know, but I,
But sometimes you have to though. Like there's nothing wrong with rooting for, the villain because I was trying in the beginning. I was still rooting for Teddy until like the third act because he was just doing. I mean, to the point when they followed her into the woods. Why would you follow her and deeper into the woods? I just did not get that. So that's when I stopped rooting for them.
I was actually dumbfounded because I would have stayed in my car. I'm like, ma'am, you need to keep on moving. Just keep on moving, or I'm gonna run you over. Because,
Exactly. Like even
but
the fact that you approach my window, there's been times where someone has approached my car window. I don't roll down my window. I'm like, oh,
oh,
hi, what do you
never.
want? I can hear you. Like, just tell me or walk away. I'm not rolling down my window. And literally, you just saw the mail that said Betty and Lou, and you're gonna follow her into the woods.
Well, and then
Okay.
also he even said, he's like, I know what happened, or tell me what happened. I'm like, why did I? And again, they want to get those views, they want to get those likes.
Right.
Well, Claire did.
Well, Claire, like I was about to say, I think Claire was really pushing that. I'm like, Claire, do you not? I get that. I feel like they tried to frame it at first that she was coming from a good place, that she wants to support herself and her boyfriend at this point. Yeah, boyfriend at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And, not wanting to pay the rent, all that. But she was just insidious with it later on. It was just too much.
And I guess it was very ironic then at the end when that video's uploaded and they're like, oh, clickbait.
And I was wondering if that was gonna happen, like if people would think that it was fake. But they didn't have that type of channel, but I don't know. Honestly, on the internet, you can never trust anything. Honestly, I feel like
that's very
if
true.
I saw that and they didn't have a bunch of prank videos or anything, I would at least check. I would at least say, can you check on these people? Because it seems very genuine. Unless she's like a very good actor, hold it against me if it's fake, but please go check on that. Especially since their channel was regular stuff of like, going to the Airbnb.
That's not a bad, no, okay. I could actually believe that. When I was chatting with the other guys, I personally still gave this a 4.5 because I know that's high, but my gosh, again, I've watched it several times now and I'm not annoyed with it. I'm not fast forwarding. And it's really truly because of Gracie's performance as Rebecca, the way she just sold it. She really, she carried most of that in terms of when it came to that part. But I think each character, like I connected with each character, even if I hated them. So that's enjoyable. I did love the social commentary though, too, how you live different lives because you see all these vloggers and, the personas they put out there versus what may happen when the cameras go off. So I actually truly like that. But other than that, it was kind of straightforward. It was a movie I could go into, not truly think too much and just have a fun time.
Yeah.
So that's why I would rate it a little bit high. I know it's bad. I already got kind of red for it.
It's your opinion. It's your opinion.
Yeah. So what would you give it out of 5 stars?
Man, it's kind of hard. I'm kind of going in between 3.5 and 4
Okay.
because I did enjoy it, but the pacing. So that's why I'm always so bad at rating the movies. I don't know how I have a letterbox. Like I don't even know how I rate movies because I just always go back and forth. Because sometimes I want to say 7.5, but technically you can't do that in stars.
Oh, I know.
I'm everywhere. So I would say between 7 and 8. So I guess
Okay.
3.5, 4 stars. Yeah.
Okay. I think that's pretty much our review. I would still also say if you don't have Shudder and you love horror, what's wrong with you? That's all I have to say because they've been putting out some really good original content. And we're not sponsored. I wish you'd sponsor us, Shudder, but it's okay. We still love you. I seriously am watching so many films on there, especially some random 80s ones that are just.
Those are always the best.
What was it? Slime Bolorama or something? I hand it to Shudder because they actually have a queer section for queer horror, either creators or actors, actresses, and it's there year round. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Not like, I hate to say it, but Hulu and all these other ones.
Like
It's
everybody
Pride
else.
Month. We got it. But Shudder's like, we got this year round, people. So get with it. And I will tie this up with first, thank you, Destiny, for joining. And if you'd like to plug the council.
Oh crap. I don't know the lines. I haven't memorized
That's
it.
all right.
I
I'm so
haven't
terrible.
memorized it. I'm so bad with it.
I am too. Yusuf would be like, Yutaka, you gonna plug the horror hour? I'm like, it comes out on a Tuesday. George handles all that. Your guys' comes out on a Wednesday. Yusuf handles all that.
Right.
Please, follow us, like, subscribe. We are at the Horror Hour TV. You can find us there. I'm terrible at these plugging parts, so sorry about it, George. You're going to hate me for that one. We'll work on it. All right. Well, I just want to thank Destiny for joining us. And again, I'm Yutaka with the Horror Hour. Destiny is one of the council hosts. We're on Tuesdays. They're on Wednesdays. That's the best either of us can tell you because we just don't know. We don't handle that. We're just the face. That's all it is.
Right. We just show up.
And thank you, everybody. And we'll say goodbye.
You have been listening to the Horror Hour. See you next time.